Hello everybody and welcome back to Europa, where we currently don't have an in to Scandinavia because of their alliance with Spain. So that's not really much of an option. I was just shopping around for where we can potentially make some expansion. And honestly, I feel like the only real option at this moment, and that will very likely change in the near future, but the only option at this moment I feel like is Bengal. I don't really want to continue expanding into Bengal, but I also feel like there's not a huge choice here. Now, Bengal is allied with Greece, which is interesting here. They're also allied with Bamanis, which we don't really care about, but maybe Gujarat might. There's Patani and Pasai and Pahang. We don't care about any of those. But Greece is interesting. We could take some territory from Greece out over here. Now, they're allied with Lithuania, which means that we probably, or maybe possibly, don't want to co-belligerent them. Now, Lithuania is not the strongest in the world. They're at 285k. They're on par Miltech. We could take them, definitely. The question is, do we want to? Well, there's actually some decent arguments to do so. And specifically, the argument is that Lithuania is one of those supporting the independence of our vassals. So we've got Lithuania, Austria, Spain, Bengal, Portugal, and Scandinavia. This would single-handedly remove Lithuania and Bengal from that list. It would mean that this is a significantly larger war. Absolutely. This would mean that we would probably make Greece be the primary belligerent here, and we would end up co-belligerenting Bengal like this. Probably. Well, it doesn't really matter. This would be the same as if we declared on Bengal and co-belligerented Greece. It would be exactly the same. We could choose, however, not to co-belligerent Bengal if we didn't want to fight these other allies. And I don't think they're particularly strong. I mean, we can definitely do that, especially if we bring in Gujarat. So this would mean that we are fighting Lithuania, Bengal, and Greece only. Now, the question is, just how much could we actually get out of this? Do we think that we could take all of this territory here? Maybe? I don't know that we'd be able to get it all. As far as Lithuania goes, I'd love to do something like freeing Circassia over here. That would be an interesting thing to do there, for sure, against Lithuania. So the real question here is, how many forces are we going to need on this front if this is indeed the war that we're going to take? 36k plus 285k, we'll just figure that at being roughly 300k. So that pretty much means this is 120, this is 240 over here, which pretty much means that we'd need these guys plus these forces over here. And then what would we need to fight Bengal? 319. Okay. So, I mean, we can rely on Gujarat for a fair amount of that pressure, to be honest. So I feel like this is a pretty winnable war if we do it in this way. As far as how much we're actually going to be able to take from Bengal, I would expect it to be relatively minimal here. And a fair amount from Greece and maybe a little bit from Lithuania. That would be the idea. Okay, so we would want to knock Greece out very quickly. So let's move these guys up over here. I think we've come to a conclusion on what we're doing here. No doubt about it. So let's bring these forces up. I'm going to move these guys up to be like bordering Circassia up here. This is Ardabil here. And these guys here, we are working on vassalizing. And I definitely do... I'd like to get that done before this war happens. I don't know how realistic that really is. So there's that. These guys can position somewhere down here. These guys can position around over here. Now, we don't know where the primary Bengal army is. If these guys launch an attack up over this direction, they could be fairly exposed. There's no doubt about that. And we're still waiting on one unit to be built over here. That is specifically this unit. So let's give that a moment. That finishes now. We are currently negative financially. However, I expect that to change fairly soon. And one way that we could probably change that, to be honest, is if we simply go into our economy tab. Okay, we do have war taxes currently on. So this would probably single-handedly do the trick. 15%? Yes, it would. 15% would indeed bring us positive. So that is reasonable. That's definitely reasonable. I think that we should probably go through and mothball our forts. We're not going to declare instantly here. So I'm going to mothball these forts. That is going to reduce our deficit, but not get rid of it. We're not too concerned about these forts in the next couple of months here. And in fact, arguably we should downsize some of these forts. Arguably. But for the moment, I think it's okay. We're relatively strong economically, actually. The primary reason that we are currently losing money is just because we're over our land force limit, and we knew that that was going to happen. So these guys can be moved down this direction as well, and you are already in motion? Okay, that looks good. So there's this fort down here as well. To that end, I want to check in 15. Okay. Not too much to be done about that other than just waiting for these conscription centers to finish, which will help considerably. 26. Okay. That's noted. That's absolutely noted. The question is, when can we afford to declare this war? How long can we afford to wait? Right? That's the real question here. And the answer is not much longer. Moving more towards legalism. I actually still want to be on the mysticism side here, so we'll do that. Where are we on the mysticism anyway? Let's see here. 84? Okay, so we can grab this 84,000 manpower whenever. I think that right now is not the time to do so. We would be very close to capping. We wouldn't actually cap, but we can wait on that for the moment. Now, we're going to be losing additional money because of our attrition that we're taking. That's unsurprising at this moment. We can tick forward one more month tick. And now the furthest that we can go... Well, actually, we can make it one more month tick here. There's a core finishing. That's good. That's very, very good. Our corruption is passively going down. So that sounds good, too. But we need a war here. And we need the war in order to awkwardly fix our economy. Very awkwardly indeed. We basically need to declare the war now. So I'm going to declare on Greece... Do we co-belligerent Bengal? That is the question we have to ask. Well, I do want to check in over here. Gazamuk is at 144. Okay, I'm thinking about how we could get this up without actually sending them money. I think that this is going to have to be something that we do after the war. So for now, that'll be fine. Let's just declare here. Do we co-belligerent Bengal? The overall difference here is about 30,000 troops. Or that's co-belligerenting Lithuania. Hang on. Co-belligerenting Bengal is considerably more. Lithuania is actually pretty weak to co-belligerent. So we could do something like this. That would allow us to get more war score against Lithuania, in theory. Do it. We're going Lithuania here, not Bengal. So Bengal is a secondary target here. Noted. We're going to push into Greece over here. We're going to push into Circassia up here. We're just going to grab their capital. Over in Bengal, we're going to immediately start pushing in here. Fantastic. These guys, this is currently Shun. Okay, sure. We're going to just start pushing in over that direction. And actually, we're in a pretty good position for this now. Our timing is nearly perfect there. I like it. So that's very solid. In we go. So the Circassian siege is going to end very, very swiftly. That is fully expected. Okay, we're losing money right now, but it's only 0.41. That is a manageable amount, especially when we figure these conscription centers are going to be done in 119 days. So that should be fine, but we are spending money, or rather military power, on war taxes. That's fine. We're not expecting to hit Miltech 30 yet. We actually physically cannot do it yet, because we can only store 1037 power right now. So that is noted, and we'll have to give this a couple of year ticks before it's even possible to get. So that's great. No problem whatsoever there. And do we lose the stability or government reform progress here? Obviously government reform progress, right? There's no question about that. We're going to head in over here. Gujarat is going to occupy some of this territory over here, but honestly, we're not even expecting to get that much against Bengal. Realistically, how much can we get against Bengal? As a hypothetical, that is what we can get against Bengal. Okay, so it's really not much. Yeah, I'm not shocked about that. They are not the primary belligerents here. It's mostly going to be Greece and Lithuania, right? So against Lithuania, what are our goals? I mean, we can't make them be our vassal, obviously. What I'd really like to do... Let's see, these are returning cores to Russia and Kiev. I don't like those ideas. We can definitely cancel their Circassian subject. That's a reasonable one to do. We can also do some core releases, which I think are a decent concept as well. So that's overall the plan up there. As far as Greece directly, the question becomes, how much can we actually end up getting here? The answer is not quite all of it. All except one province. This one is a quite expensive province. Okay. Will this change at all, though? Maybe if we had cores here, but I really, really doubt Arabia has any cores up over here. Ottomans do, but that doesn't really matter for us at this moment. So we're going to continue to tick forward here. It's probably, like, if we look at Greece directly, right, we wouldn't be able to vassalize them either. So I would want to clear this offer. Yeah, 156 would be what it would take to vassalize them. So we clearly cannot take everything that they have, but we can get pretty close, actually. So that's absolutely great. We'll just continue to press through here. I want to check up this direction. Okay, looking good. We do see quite a number of Bengal forces out over here. So we see at least 120k. Bare minimum out over here. They have definitely more forces, but that's what we see for now. We can't progress up here due to the fort, and the Forge of Jampur over here is going to be awkward, for sure. Bengal was building a spy network. Okay, whatever. So for the moment, this seems reasonably fine. We got a conversion successfully done. That's good. And they are sieging us here. Yes. We now know how many forces there are here. Which means we can just attack them here. Completely safely. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Are these guys locked in? They are not. Now they are. Beautiful. Okay. So this is a big battle here. And interestingly, morale is kind of mediocre here. And the reason for that is our morale is actually quite a bit lower than theirs overall. In Defiance of the Dragon, full Elan, okay, that's some pretty big buffs there. Army Tradition as well. Our Army Tradition is 8.8, but their Army Tradition is a lot higher. So, noted. We're still going to win this, of course. Gujarat is right here, and we obviously come away from that with a victory. But we are going to head down over here now. Cool. I want to check in on Greece. Noted. So we're going to continue to push through over this way. Phenomenal. We also got an occupation out over this way. Looks good. Sadly, this fort hasn't fallen yet. We just took a loan, which is not ideal, but it's kind of to be expected, honestly. The conscription center is going to be done in 17 days. We took a lot of casualties in that battle, and that's going to be expensive to reinforce. That's why that loan ended up happening. But for the moment, that is absolutely fine. We need to expand here. Absolutely. So that's okay. We will continue to occupy Greece over here. Where is the Greek army? That's a question that I have right now. And the answer is, I don't know where the Greek army is, to be honest. Or the Lithuanian army. Well, there's the Greek army. Okay. But where's the Lithuanian army? I would have expected them to be here around by now. Now, they are low on their manpower reserves. So that's understood. They probably don't actually want to fight this war. Maybe they're trying to sit this one out as best they can. But we are planning to actually get some forces from them. Ah, here's a Lithuanian force. This is interesting. They're locked into Circassia here. We have a force right here that we can fight them with. The question is, do they have anything behind this? I'm going to move this force into Kabardia here just to see. We could also force march this force to get it here a little faster in case they have other forces behind this. It looks like they did, but they were small forces, so this is probably not relevant to bring in these defenders at this point. So that seems fine. I want to make sure to go take the Greek capital here. Down in Bengal. This is going quite well. We're not shocked about this, of course. That'll take a little bit of time to get that sorted. The question is, when is Bengal going to want to exit this war? They don't want to yet, and that's understandable. So we've occupied down here. These guys are going to get redirected up towards Lithuania now, because Greece is basically under control, right? We don't need 3 armies invading Greece at this time. Greece is now fully occupied. So we're going to move these armies up, and we're going to move all of them over. Cool. So I want you to start attacking up over here. We'll start getting inroads into Lithuania. They're actually locked into attacking us here, fascinatingly. So we'll just allow that to happen for the moment. I want to check in on Bengal. Okay, we see a 30k stack over here. They're pushing their way up this way. This fort is going to prevent us from easily getting there. That's fine. I'm not too concerned about that, really. Never mind. That fort's not going to prevent us at all. Okay. I expected that would have zone of controlled right here. But okay, I guess we can just run up there. Sure, let's go. That seems fine. So Lithuania is now down to 16k. We can see everybody's at, or at least Greece, is at low war enthusiasm. Bengal is still at high war enthusiasm here. So we're going to need to get them out of there. I want to start occupying this fort. This is maybe a little overextended here. Lithuania has 230,000 troops that they could, in theory, pile into the defense here. And we don't have reinforcements super close by. So it's a little bit risky, but we'll see how that goes. Terhut did fall. So I want to head up over this direction and continue to take territory. We're going to catch something here. Looks like only a 1k stack. Wait, these guys are coming back. Okay, now they're not. What if we force march them up here? Do we catch that? We do. So we're going to do that. We're just going to force march up here and catch that Bengal force. That'll be great. I want to continue to invade Lithuania proper over here. I want these guys in Kuban, these guys in Majar, and these guys can move up to, like, Manich up over here. Cool. This siege is finally over. So these guys are heading that direction. Noted. Can we force march and catch them there? No, but we can head this direction. And I kind of... Yeah, I'm looking at the forces arrayed here. I think that we need to bring these guys in as well as reinforcement. So that'll be fine. We'll absolutely do that. As far as the invasion of Bengal goes, it seems to be going very, very well. I'm not going to give anything to Gujarat, for the record. We didn't promise them any land, so they won't be upset about it. Okay, in we go here. Lithuania is being invaded. All looks good. I want to redirect these guys down to start sieging down this fort. Kuban has been occupied. Okay, beautiful. We can head into, like, Azov. That'll be okay. And we are, of course, occupying a lot of territory right now. Things are going very well for this war. No doubt about that. That's Wallachia over there? Okay. Awkward. Well, that's fine. I want to check in up over here. These guys did not, in fact, catch this force, and I kind of want to stack these together. Okay. 15 March, 12 March, and 6 April. We would arrive on 14 March. So we would catch only that one force there. I kind of like that. They'll probably turn around and pile in, but it seems reasonably okay. Okay, the siege of Jaunpur is now over, so I want to continue to push in over this direction. And of course, we want to continue to push into Lithuania as well. So the question is, when is Lithuania and Bengal in particular going to want to get out of this war? I don't like fighting the two-front war here, especially in this scenario. Okay, this is potentially very bad here. This is in mountains. We are currently sieging this. Can we get out? This would be on 1 April. We would exit 4 April and 30 March. Zone of controlled. Okay. Yeah, we are zone of controlled there. So we would have to back out of here, but we're not going to get out of here in time. So these guys are very likely going to end up losing that battle. That's what I mean about overextended in this area. So these guys are locked in down here. We can move them northward, but it's probably going to be an issue. We are fighting Bengal up here. What is their manpower like? They're down to 19k, so they can't replace this. Noted. They're probably going to win this battle, but at what cost is the question that they have to ask at this point. So we're just going to continue to move up here. Can we force march this? We can. I doubt we get there in time, but we can try. Yeah, we're not going to get there in time. We do lose that battle as expected. I'm not shocked about that. That's an awkward retreat path there. And we just lost this battle up here as well. That I didn't expect. I expected us to win this battle, but I guess that... Oh, that's also retreating all the way back to Shortcut. Okay, those are some very awkward retreats. Now, to be clear, Bengal cannot replace the losses that they're getting here. They're at 25k. Indeed. That's going to be awkward for them. Now, I think we're going to win this now. The Siege of Tin is over. Fantastic. And we're just going to head up to Mansur and Bamut. And we're just going to continue to press in over here. Ah, Scandinavia coattailed Lithuania. Okay. That's going to make things a little awkward for us, but I guess that explains where the Lithuanian army is. They're also fighting Venice. Okay. Lithuania is having problems. Everybody decided to coattail Lithuania when we declared. I'm pretty sure they were at peace before we declared, although I don't think I technically looked at that. But we did end up winning this battle over here, and the Siege of Kathmandu is now over as well. So that's all good. We can continue to push into Bengal over here. These guys are going to finish their retreat eventually. Are they force marching? They're not. Okay. So just checking in over here. Yeah, there's a lot of... We're going to run out of war score over here fairly quick. Okay. Just thinking, if we're against Greece, all of this is fully occupied at this point. So we could get this, or we could get like this. Or like this. Which basically puts Greece in this position, right? So that means that we don't have enough to do anything over here. That means that this has to be separate piecing Lithuania. So we would need to cancel subject Circassia. They would currently accept that. How many reasons do they have? 3. So even if we just claimed that, they wouldn't do it. I feel like Lithuania isn't actually a big threat to us. So we should just try to get whatever war score we can at this point. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to bring these guys forward. I don't know if this fort is under siege yet, but I want to siege it. If it's not, it is. Okay, Scandinavia is sieging that fort. So that's not a useful place for us to siege that. Gotcha. We can try to push around over here. Things get very awkward very quickly. We could just push Scandinavia through finishing that siege. Now, to be clear, I don't really want Scandinavia to get anything here. So maybe we exit the war with Lithuania and hope that that allows them to more effectively fight off Scandinavia. That might not be a bad idea here. So we have 12 reasons if we do this. We would get Circassia. Beyond that, we could maybe like release Astrakhan up here. This would not be the big Astrakhan release, which would be this. This would be the smaller one. But they would accept this, plus giving us 228 gold. You know what? We'll do it. Okay. So now these forces can start to return home. I'm going to take you over to Tikrit. I'm going to take you over to Calm. You can head over to Avaz. What else do we have up here? You can head over to Moghastan. And then I believe you would end up going to Samarkand. Okay. So something like that. Now, Lithuania does have a reasonably strong army, but I think that they lose to Scandinavia here. But what that gives us is Circassia over here, which is absolutely interesting. They would accept vassalization here. Interesting. We can start improving relations with them here. And we can also improve relations with Gazimuk. Unfortunately, we would be lacking a diplomat for that. So I think that we need to not do that for the moment. Now, turning our attention over to Bengal. I want this force. Actually, all three of these can be grouped together. For the time being, that's probably okay. I don't expect them to actually fight down over here, because we have a large amount of Gujarat forces in this area, right? So that's probably not going to end up being a thing. All of these guys can start heading up here, where we know that Bengal is attempting to actually press home an advantage. I don't think they have a great advantage there. And I want to check here, plus 8.13, but we're going to be negative. Okay, we probably should not repay this loan at this time. But eventually. Eventually. Yeah, we're paying a lot right now for reinforcement, so that's understood. Currently, very slightly negative, but we are going to reinforce quite quickly here. So for now, these units are all going to move back up over here. Ah. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to need to move some forces in up here, but we still might end up losing this. Bengal is stacking their forces together pretty well over here. This is about half of their army. Keep in mind, though, they cannot replenish this. So we're going to move some reinforcements here. I do expect that Bengal may win this, but we're going to force march up here. And yeah, like I said, I do expect that Bengal would win this because they are the defender in the mountains here. But what we did is we managed to eliminate a pretty sizable chunk of their force there. Now, we're retreating back to here. That's not too bad. We can replace our forces, and they can't. That's the important thing here. Well, they can replace some of them, but they're at 29k manpower right now. We're at 114k. So the question is, are we willing to peace out Bengal at this time? I mean, they're not really willing to accept any peace here. They have 3 reasons for a white peace, right? So they're at medium war enthusiasm. I think for the moment, we just let things be with Bengal. Maybe Greece unconditionally surrenders, but look at this. Gujarat caught their weakened force there before a reinforced kick, and that's going to really hurt their numbers. They're down to 181k now. So there's not actually all that much that they can do here. We're going to head down over this way. That's fine. Losing these battles, I think, is completely irrelevant to us. It doesn't matter in any meaningful way. So I think it's fine. It is time to put a cut in here, though, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to wrap up this war, and we'll see what we end up getting out of Bengal, but I don't expect it to be much. We can get a huge chunk of Greece, though, so that'll be good. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.